All right. Tonight we have Staci Myers. She's an addict counselor, paranormal investigator, mother, and a bunch of other titles. So, and then we have another guest. We have Justin Beltramo. He is a cannabis sativa expert,
Yeah.
and he's a movie buff. So we're going to be talking about all kinds of things, anything and everything. And our journey tonight may take us down a dark alley, or it may take us to a bright, lighted street, or maybe both. And I'm going to kind of break the ice and just ask one question, and then you guys can take it off wherever you want to go. And that question is, what happened in your life that was so scary that really traumatized you? Something that could be life and death.
Yeah.
And I'll start it off with Justin.
Yeah. Well, there's Phil and Xandine don't know, but on April 14th, I know the exact date, 6:38. I was sitting in the living room eating dinner, and I took my last bite of the food, and I got this little cramp in my stomach, and I said, "Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom." So I stood up and go to the bathroom, and then the pain from my stomach shot straight up to my heart, and then I kind of like felt tingly in my arm, and my left arm went numb, and then I
Oh,
suffered a pretty major heart attack.
oh my gosh.
On April on
What?
April 14th, and so I went to the bathroom. I got just drenched in sweat, and I thought, okay, and then I was throwing up, and I thought, okay, let me try to fight this off. Let me go through it. And my stubborn ass, I waited about 2 hours while I was in there, suffering in this heart attack, and it was pretty major. And then I texted my girl and I said, yeah, call the ambulance. I think I'm having a heart attack.
Oh
So
God.
yeah, that was on a Monday. So long story short, I spent 4 days in the ICU. Just turns out I had just a ton of blood clots all around my heart, and then
Mm.
my one of the widowmaker valve totally collapsed shut. That's what caused the heart attack. And they on Wednesday I got a stent put in my heart, like a balloon,
Just
open
Mr.
up that valve, and hey, since then I feel like I'm 20 years younger, and I it's Sutter saved my life.
Yeah.
Just to say the least. But yeah, I was out of work for a good 2.5 weeks.
Jay.
I've been back for 2 weeks now. So, and there, it's a slow progress. Every day I'm getting stronger. But like I said, it that is my scariest moment. It changed me big time. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm pretty much it came down to my diet and my lifestyle of not exercising and stuff, and I am pretty much now 98% vegan. Of it, everything I'm putting in my body is I watch. I have to. I've been ordered to. I mean, I can go back to the food, but no, long story, like I said, long story short, I'm eating healthier. I'm out there exercising. I'm down like 15 pounds already, and I'm
Congratulations.
thank you. I'm back at work, but those couple days while or that night, those couple hours, it was scary. I've never felt anything like that. And I was typing out a message to my daughter, a goodbye message. That's how, because
Oh,
I was going in and out. I was going in and out black, and my vision was narrowing, and I was trying to fight through it. I just figured, oh, it'll pass. It'll pass. It just heartburn, indigestion. I'm stubborn that way. But
me too.
yeah.
Oh,
And so the doctor, after they did all the checking and all that stuff, the doctor, he came in my room after my girl and my parents left. He said, I want to talk to you, while you're by yourself. He said, not only did you knock on death's door, he said, you went inside and shook his hand. He said,
Wow.
yeah, he said, somebody, whatever faith you believe in, they reached in and pulled you out. So I said, well, I'm glad they did, because I still got a lot of living to do. And at 44, everybody was amazed at the hospital. That's a young age.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it was like,
Well,
so I was ICU for 4 days, hospital total of 5. But no, like I said, now I'm back at work, and I'm just been ordered not to do any heavy lifting, and I'm on a ton of medications and stuff. But like I said, it's just the change of the diet, and
Yeah. Alone,
that,
yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
huge. I
That's a
watched.
huge, that's man, that's everything, Jay.
It is. Because when I was there, I was told by one of the nurse practitioners. He said, "Watch this show on Netflix called You Are What You Eat," and
Yeah.
so I watched it, and it's that that will make you second guess what you put in your body.
Yeah, definitely.
I cold turkey, I quit, and this will surprise Andy and everybody else. Since April 14th, I've smoked 2 joints.
No, Justin, that doesn't. Hey, you know what? When I caught what I think would be like SARS or whatever, like before the COVID came out, and then something else, and it made me so. I just didn't want, you just don't want that. You don't want to go through that again. But with you, I mean,
I was able to keep up with Snoop Dogg back in, because the dog. I mean, I was smoking 10 joints a day, and I was, I'm going through almost an ounce every 2 days. And yeah, I don't. And then, but the doctor said no more smoking. He said because there is tar in anything you smoke.
Yeah.
He said get the gummies, eat as many of those as you want. He said just don't smoke it. So, but like I said, I've got the.
I mean,
I got it.
But I see the peril. It's like it's more, and like for your family and everything, it's so much at stake to where you look at it way different. I'm sure it's not even a question for you probably now.
Yeah, no, it's for the first 2 weeks. I wasn't even thinking about getting high. I was like, I don't. This my health is, like I said, my daughter's 27. I still got a lot more watching her. I mean, I'm 44.
Yeah, you got grandkids. You've everything else you need to do.
Not yet. I will, hopefully, but
well, eventually, hopefully.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I got a little.
Tommy Chong stopped smoking. He's just doing the CBD gummies and things like that. So
that's right, Staci. That's why even Snoop is pretty much trying to stop right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Snoop Dogg. Yeah,
he's got that new video out. It's a new video with him and Jelly Roll where they can remake the Tom Petty "Last Dance with Mary Jane" song. And when I came out of the hospital, I watched that video and I was like, shit, that's kind of like, because he goes to the doctors and they tell him you need to quit smoking. He also smokes blunts, which has got the tobacco and nicotine.
Tobacco is good. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. I'll smoke I used to smoke maybe 1 blunt a month, but that's like I said,
that harshness. But see, the good thing about you is you really have, like before somebody said just stop, you're like, well, damn, you struggle with it. But when you have something like that happens, your whole mindset, you don't feel like you're missing out. Or you probably can imagine what it's like now and be there. You don't even need it like that.
It's like I said, it was. I got a second chance on life, and I quit everything. All these bad habits. I cold turkey. Turkey. Like I said, like the food. I will go back. I mean, I do eat like chicken and turkey and fish and stuff, but
that's all good for you.
Oh yeah, and I'll tell you what. Like I just had a vegan burger earlier. Once you put on avocado, lettuce, tomato, you can't tell the difference.
What would you think? What you think about like that your body has been so used to eating meat? And then the other point to that is like, I know you'll probably agree with me on this. If you look at like NFL players, basketball players, sports stars, like they're healthy at an optimum rate, but their owners not necessarily in shape. They've lived to the point of all white hair. They're outliving the athletes. They're healthier. It's got to be the diet, man.
It's got to be. I mean, you look at different cultures, like the Asian culture, they live so long, and they talk about in that show I watched, and it's 90% of it is due to the diet.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. I think the worst thing I've had since April 14th, like junkiest food, I think real mayonnaise on a club sandwich. That was, like I said, Yeah. No, I'm taking it very serious. Like I said, my girl, she when I text her that to call the ambulance, she couldn't even do it. She had to have her sister do it. She was so
wow.
She was, and she still checks on me all throughout the day. I said, God damn, I'm good. I'm fine now. I'm out, like I said, I'm out doing walks around the neighborhood. I'm doing exercising, I feel and I'll tell you what, since I had that incident, I have no more acid reflux, no more heartburn. So that used to keep me up at night, and they say, and all my research that's a sign of, could be a possible sign of heart conditions, the acid reflux.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like there's sometimes I would go through a thing of Tums once a week, just chewing on them. And I would wake up sometimes.
My dad would do that. I mean, he just ate them like candy.
I felt like I had to, because like if I had something like ketchup, I would be literally throwing up the next morning because of the heartburn and the reflux. But
wow, yeah, no, that's super bad.
Since I had the episode, I haven't had one lick of heartburn. And I'm back to I'm eating some spicier stuff now. I'm like, wow. That stuff tastes different now, and it was an eye opener, especially for everybody here at the house, because we're all out of shape at the house, and there's been a lot of changes. Like I said, we're not getting younger, we're getting older, and like I said, I still got a lot of living to do. But yeah, so they did the stent and they put it in up through my wrist, and I have pictures, and I was awake during. I was in twilight. They had me all some nice Valium in the hospital, and the hospital version of fentanyl. So that shit was that was good. Yeah, because they use it in the hospitals, but it's not like it is on the streets.
No, they know what they're doing. Yeah,
but I was like awake. I was watching them, and I asked them. I said, "Hey, can I take some of that shit home?" Because I said I like the way that makes me feel. I can't smoke anymore. Like
do what you want.
Warm and it tingling and went through my whole body, man. It was the first time I've ever had this first time in my life I've ever had an IV put in me. I'm at 44. So
yeah, wow, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's pretty good.
Well, before this, I haven't seen a doctor since I was 19 years old. So, like I said, I'm one of those.
Yeah.
But now I got a whole phone and appointments full of doctors and cardio specialists, and I start on May 30th. I start cardio rehabilitation, where they're twice a week. Yeah, they're gonna put my ass through some exercising, and they have to do it 6 weeks after you're released. So, no, yeah, that was
wow,
a month tomorrow. So it's that's a lot changes since the last time I seen you guys and talked to you guys. So Paul saw me. He saw me the day I got home. He didn't realize it though.
Yeah, I mean, it blew me away because there was an ambulance in front of our house and everything else.
Yeah.
I did not even know what was going on. I did not know that Justin had a heart attack.
It was at 9:30 9:30ish when the ambulance came, and Paul must have been dead asleep at that time.
Wow. Yeah.
All the other neighbors are all peeking out the window, but
what's so scary though? I mean, it's like the older you get. I'm 70 years old, and I'm scared every time I have to go see the doctor. I'm scared that the doctor's going to tell me something crazy.
Exactly.
But yeah, and it was all these older people.
Scary, man.
They can't eat sugar and stuff like that. They could become diabetic or whatever. That shit is scary. And I always pray when I get out of Kaiser and I got an A-OK, I'm happy. I was like, another year. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I guess I went in, and once they started running all the tests, I was in pretty bad shape. I was borderline diabetic. I was, like I said, I had blood clots. I'm still on blood thinners from.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm still. That's one of the medications. Like I still have bruises from when they gave me shots because of the blood thinners. Like my stomach is all bruised up. I was born diabetic. My blood pressure was off the charts, and but now it's all back to normal, and the numbers are looking good. And when I forget the word they said, like they said, normal people, everyday people, the numbers should be in the 500 to 600s. My numbers were 22,000.
Wow.
When it came to like something to do with the heart, and so I almost had to come home with one of those little life vests in case I go through another episode. It shocks your heart. It's almost like a portable.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah,
it's like a walk around defibrillator. But so the only thing, but my numbers went down, and I just have to carry nitroglycerin pills on me for the rest of my life in case I have another episode. You slip one under your tongue, and it kind of shocks you out of the rhythm and the pain. But no, like, and then baby aspirin. I'll be chewing one of those every day for the rest of my
Yeah.
life. You know,
Well, I got some good chewable ones for those.
I got the orange ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
Good
like I said,
flavors.
I'm eating oatmeal. I'm eating vegan burgers and sandwiches and sausages, and like I said, I do have turkey and chicken, but it's after watching that one show, it really opened my eyes on what you put in your mouth and of how much full of shit stores are with their labels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's
So
called
Justin, you have to do nitroglycerin?
No, that's as needed. That's only if I start having chest pains in my heart.
Okay.
You slip one under your tongue. They're super tiny. You slip one under your tongue and it dissolves, and it kind of like, so when they picked me up in the ambulance from the house, that's one of the first things they did is they gave me aspirin and then they sprayed it. They had to spray and they sprayed it under my tongue. And within a minute, the pain went away. And
Wow.
the episode stopped.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
thing
let's hope you don't ever have to use them.
No, I hope I don't.
Yeah, I heard that,
Yeah.
Stacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I watch movies, sometimes I watch movies and they say, "Oh, watch out, that's nitroglycerin, it'll blow up." Is that the same Is that the same
No.
nitroglycerin?
Maybe in the pure form. I don't know. I'll try it in the
It's
backyard.
not as volatile, it's the state is not as volatile. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little. I mean, I'm telling you, these pills are, they're tiny. You can barely even see them, and you can only take up to 3 at a time.
It's
That's
powdered form instead of a liquid form, Paul.
yeah.
So
Hey, Phil and Stacy,
saliva. Yeah.
Phil and Stacy, as far as what Justice said, how do you guys growing up in big families or having families feel about not being able to get good nutrition? Like for your kids, everything you buy, you're thinking like, hey, will this lead to some kind of thing for them? Because like my son, he goes to the doctor, he has some kind of pain, he eats good, but he keeps, it's something that I always worry. Like, man, it's like, is his food catching up to him?
Yeah.
It's what the shit worries me all the time, man.
Yeah. It also too, it could be hereditary. Oh, and they told me that they had 2 people in the hospital that died the week before I did from those goddamn the vapes. Vaping.
Really?
From vapes.
From vaping. Yep. And
Yeah.
I never messed with those, even with the THC ones. I tried it once, I didn't like it. And it's because one thing, when you're doing those, you don't know exactly what the oil is, and then you're sucking in these heat coils that heats up the oil. And they said they had 2 people die, and they were in their 30s, because that's how
Wow.
they were obviously very addicted to them, like constant all day, every day. But
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
no, I said, I didn't even drink alcohol. I said, I just smoke it. And that's it. I didn't, no dabs, no gummies, but no, like I said, now I'm on gummies. But I'll tell you what, though, having that 3-week off, and then when I went back and I took my first gummy, I was like, it's me. I'm going to pop 3 gummies at one time while we were out. Oh shit, boy. Man, we were fucked up all day at work.
You gotta be careful on your liver too. Sometimes if you take too many, people talk about like you get this little rot gut pain, so
Yeah.
if you don't pass them.
Like we were eating them all day, kind of, then I popped 2 more on my way home. I was like, you know what? I was like, let me stop at the store, because these things give me the munchies. So I bought a bunch of fruit trays. I was munching on. Oh man, it kicked in when I was at Winco. I hit that wall. That's just cheap. Right. Yeah, like I said, 2.5 weeks off.
Damn.
It doesn't take as much to get me high anymore. I'll tell you that. Like half a joint, I'm good. So nice little tolerance break, So
Yeah.
but yeah, like I said, knock on wood, it's ever since that night I haven't had no pain. Sutter went above and beyond. I mean, they say that the doctor that took care of me and did my procedure, everybody said that even if I wouldn't, if God did it, or his hands are better than God's hands. It's not even, God's not even as good as this guy. And Dr. Roberts' name, and really nice guy. Yeah, he I mean, it only took about an hour too. Like I said, I was awake, I was watching them, and I was watching on the camera. They were shooting the dye in. I didn't know exactly what I was looking at. I knew those were my veins. I didn't know which ones were wrong or which ones were bad, but
Yeah.
it was cool. Like the pictures, I've shown Paul the pictures of the before and after, and it's just like, wow. You can see it's incredible. Like, because like I said, it wasn't just clogged, it collapsed, and it was that Widowmaker valve. And then there is scarring on the left side of my heart. That's how bad it was then. And that's going to be permanently there. But they said that's nothing to watch out. Just, just be careful. So
Yeah.
that's my scary story.
Well, no kidding. My gosh.
That's the warning to all of us.
Man.
Yeah. Man, that makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, I'm the next person. It would be Staci. Staci, what in your
we're
book?
getting. Hey Paul, we're gonna this thing's gonna reset in a few minutes. So
Yeah, my
let's
timer says
kill a few minutes with BS before we let Stacy
Okay.
get in the roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really even have anything, especially not that great. I mean, I can't think of anything. I was so enthralled in Justin's story. So I was just
That's all you guys
oh my
can.
Lord, goodness. Yeah. So we can go on to the next question on that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really had anything major traumatic or life-changing happen to me, especially on that level. So, okay, so what do? We just wait for you to send another link.
Exactly. I'll send another link, and you guys will just reconnect to it. Sorry, Zandine and I burned up about 10 minutes talking. Well, I didn't realize you guys were trying to connect on here.
I burned up 8.
All right.
I burned up 8. He burned up 2.
Well, I'd asked you guys on Messenger, can you record on the Messenger?
And I haven't done a I've never tried it on Messenger. On Facebook Messenger, I've never tried a multi-person meeting on Messenger before. I've tried one-on-one, but I've never done one.
Right.
Yeah, well, neither have I. So I didn't know maybe if there was something different, but we can all kind of look into it and see what's up. Okay. So what are we going to do now?
Like my internet. I was just going to ask Justin, did they tell you how much that stint cost, and was it a medicated stint?
Well, the whole bill was just about $10,000.
Oh.
Wait, that's it?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cheap.
I mean,
I only got to pay 1,000 of it. So
you can't even get a used Toyota for that. I mean, come on.
My Honda was 23,000. It was a year old. Yeah, the total bill I saw in breakdown, it said like 9,800 something, and I only have to pay 1,100 of it. So
nice.
I was like, hey, cool. Thank God I have Sutter insurance, so maybe I don't know. Yeah,
that's awesome because
how much was the ambulance?
Like a $500,000 type of.
About 1,700.
I don't know. Here we go. Yeah.
All right, we're back.
Know who it is.
Good old Stephanie.
Yeah,
all right.
That's her professional name. It's really Nicole, but
well, you're Stephanie today, though.
Yeah, today I am. Yeah, here we go.
Is that your sister's stage name?
Yeah.
Formerly known as Justin.
Right.
All right, you guys, you want me to get it started?
Yeah.
Okay,
your
let me get it started.
Oh, there you are.
Okay, Justin is showing us a picture. What is that picture?
It's kind of hard. Okay, so there.
Oh, almost focused.
Like you can kind of see the veins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. On this part, right there.
Yeah.
I have my finger.
There you go. Now you can see it when you point to it. Yeah.
That's the collapsed.
Oh.
Wow.
So and then here's the after. I don't know if it'll work.
Oh yeah. Wow, look at that.
See it all down here? It went from all the way down there now.
Beautiful. Yeah, that one's great. Wow.
Yeah, I'll find a better picture, but yeah,
no, those are crazy. You can definitely see the difference. That is crazy.
Yeah. So that's my story. Yeah.
Whoa. That's
wow, Jen.
That's
glad you're here to talk to us about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Me too.
Wow.
I was signing on your post, man, and I didn't see for a while, but I didn't realize what had happened.
Stuff like that. I'm not putting that all out.
Yeah. I mean,
there's literally only a handful of people like knew and still know, like my immediate family, which isn't much, is my mom, my dad, my sister, and then like of course my daughter, but she lives in London and she wanted to come home, but I told her no, because she was just here visiting. I said, no, I said, I'm all good. I'm in the best hands. You know, I'm getting fixed. So it's, you know.
Wow, she's got to be worried.
Oh, she is. Yeah, she is. Like I said, we grew up together. I was so young when I had her that me and her both grew up together. So,
Oh,
yeah,
Beautiful.
that's my baby. Yeah.
All right. Justin, I'm just so glad you're here, and stay healthy, brother.
Oh, I am. Trust me.
Oh, wow. Well, anyway, let's move on. We'll stay on that topic, and then we'll start shifting around. So, Phil, what was something in your life that was so damn scary, life and death, that happened to you?
I got hit by a car.
Whoa.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was I was around 2015. I was in North Sacramento on Del Paso Boulevard,
Oh, yeah.
and I was heading downtown and had a bunch of camera equipment in my trunk. Pulled off to the side of the road because the whole trunk was ajar. Light came on, and pulled off right in front of a church there. And you know how wide Del Paso is, especially around in the South Del Paso Heights area. And as soon as I got out of the car, I'm standing in between the door of the car. You know, it's like the door's open. I'm standing right in that spot between the car door and the car. And I look and I see a car coming, and I said to myself, is he going to hit me? And he did.
Wow.
Yeah, he ended up.
Wow.
Now, I was in my Mustang, and he ended up. I had the door open. He ended up hitting the edge, the very end of the door of the Mustang. The door's up. The door's open, and the car is here, and I'm like right in between, right here. And he hit the edge of the door, and he hit the rear tire of the Mustang, and I was right in the middle of it, and I flipped over the roof of the car. And I didn't get pinned in between, because if it had been like a pickup truck or something, I'd be dead. I would have been crushed and smashed in the middle. I got thrown. It was a low car, so I got thrown over it. I don't know whether I jumped at the last minute because I got knocked out. I woke up in the middle of the street, but with my shoes off.
Yeah.
So
Gosh.
yeah, it was knocking my shoes off my feet kind of thing. But yeah, that was a little scary. But it wasn't so much scary. It was like I kind of woke up and I was like, "What the hell happened? Did that really just happen?" You know, I was more disbelief than anything else.
Yeah.
And then I just the after effect was, I was sore for like 2 weeks. I got tackled by a car.
At least you didn't break any bones.
Yeah,
My big toe. I broke my big toe.
Oh, wow.
So
well, that don't count.
Yes. So I've been very lucky. Yeah, that's about as close as I came to death, I think.
Oh,
So
wow.
far.
And then having to listen, and then the other half was you having to listen to Wicked, about a month ago.
Wicked? Oh God, yeah, you're right. You
I watched it.
That. Did you watch that?
I liked it. I liked it.
No. Was that before or after the heart attack?
After is when I was healing. I was like, "Fuck it, let me watch this thing."
I think you were probably. You were a changed man.
Still loopy. Yeah, I was still loopy off the drugs.
That's why I liked it.
No, but I like musicals. So
yeah, me too. Yeah,
and I like Cynthia in Vivo or whatever, the one that played the Wicked Witch, or the Elphaba. I like her, so she can sing. You can say she's my type of woman. That's the kind of
Oh, okay, there we go. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I thought I was hearing that in there a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've seen my pictures on Facebook.
I was hearing that, Jay.
Yeah, my girl, she's my girl, she's African American, so
yeah.
What was that?
Hey man, ain't nothing wrong with that. I love you for that, Jay.
Oh, nothing wrong with that at all.
What was that hotel movie she was in? That
I never didn't even know she was an actress before this.
There's some movie she's in where it's a hotel that's around the border of California and Nevada, kind of like a Tahoe type thing.
Yeah.
Bad Times at the El Royale.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, like
She was in that?
Yeah, she sings throughout the whole movie.
Huh.
That's when I first saw her. I
Yeah,
noticed.
that's right. She's the one that gets the room and soundproofs it and everything. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. I didn't know that was her.
You have to check that out.
Great voice. That's why I first noticed her, and I thought, all right, so I'd give Wicked a chance because I liked her. But whoever wrote those songs needs to be dragged out in the street and beaten.
Hit by a
My
car.
But I'm
mother
coming
used
from a songwriter.
Yeah, well, my mother, she loved Wicked, so she went and saw it on the off Broadways like twice before she came back from or to Missouri. So she was super into that movie. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, I don't know if I want to see it or not.
Is that where you're at? Is Missouri?
Yeah, I'm in Missouri.
Oh,
Yeah,
my dad's from Chillicothe.
Chillicothe, where's that at?
He said, I think it's up north, like way up north.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I'm Southwest Missouri, so I'm
Okay.
down by Joplin
Yeah,
and all that area. So
My
yeah.
grandpa, he said him and my grandpa, they used to run the moonshine up to Chicago.
That is so cool.
It's Italian Italian fathers, so very Italian. Yes, Beltram. I mean, you see my last name. Yeah,
What? Yeah, that is so cool.
yeah.
Oh, all the stories that we have.
I
Goodness.
bet.
Okay, who's next?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
Zandine
okay,
would be next.
Zandine, what has changed your life that was so dramatic, so scary, close to death? Did anything ever like that happen to you?
Yeah, I will be real brief with it. Because my people that know me close, they know that my son, well, he's 26, this particular one, we were in a fire when he was at 15 months and like basically in an explosion. So I had to put my son out. I was burning, he was burning, except for I got 2nd degree and he got 3rd degree.
Wow.
So that takes the nerves, takes your hair and shit, messes the skin up. So he had the problem was like when the fire department came and he was in my arms, everything was melted. And then when they pulled me from him, he was screaming. It was like spaghetti, we were like melted. So that shit, like it traumatized you. Then it's like the blood everywhere. So they get us to the hospital and they still want to talk to you because they want to know what happened to the child, of course. So I'm dealing with them. And the whole thing I'm thinking is, is he going to make it? And so thinking about the scan, you're thinking about all this stuff. So that, after we worked all through it, went through a bunch of, they told me, he was dead. So I was, for a minute, I kind of wigged out. I was at San Francisco General and I pretty much dared anybody. I mean, anything could have happened on that day. But then they came to me a couple of hours later and they said, nah, he's working with something. So I was like, at that point, I was just hoping he had his limbs, he had, whatever. Then I started thinking about, will he have a girlfriend, all this stuff. Meanwhile, I'm burning, but I really didn't even know. I didn't notice it because I was so pissed off. And then, 18 years later, surgeries, grafts, because he went through like 3 sets of grafts as a 15-month-old, as a 15-month-old, because staph, his first graft, then cadaver skin and regular grafts. And they would have students come in and shit and look at them. It's like a case study. And a lot of them weren't washing their hands and shit. And I kept telling them, I don't want anybody to come in, if they come in like that. So they said, hey, Mr. Smith, you're being difficult. Like, we want to give him a trach for his, we want to give him a trach for his meds. We want to be able to work with him better. So I looked around the hospital. It looked like everybody had a trach. And the hospital I just came from, which we transferred them from SF General to the Children's. They didn't have that at all. But of course, it was a whole different thing. So I said, well, I need more information. And people got upset me. They were like, well, damn, just let them have a trach, So they came and talked to me the next morning, and the guy was like, what are your concerns? And I said, I just need more information. It just seems like in the precedent of this injury, I just want to know, is there anything else they do different? Because I don't want that scar. And he goes, well, what's one more scar, sir? And that's when I was like, you know what?
Wow.
Really, I said, like, we didn't even need to talk about it no more. So the next day, Santa Clara Valley Medical called me and they said, hey, we have a spot here. We have a new surgeon, Dr. Pardon. He came up from the South. And I said, well, let me talk to him. And so I asked him, the first thing I said, do you guys do trachs? for this type of injury? And he goes, no, he said, I mean, under the most, extreme circumstances, but we almost never do that. So I was like, really?
Right.
Like, okay. So we transferred like right away. And so that's where my boy recovered. But then, like I said, after that, we didn't get out the woods for it's like you had to keep getting adjustment surgeries, medicines and this and that. But then when he, got well enough to run around and stuff, because he was walking early. So I was kind of tripping on that too, because he had lost everything, on the bed and shit. So I would take things at the top of the hill like his toys and like make him run up the hill. So he got strong, I tried little things and shit. And by the time some older lady, she told me, she said, hey baby, you know what? She said, that guy's gonna be running circles around you. She said, don't worry about it. She said, you watch me. She said, I seen this shit. I've been doing this 30 years. And I said, really? I said, really? And and she was right. I mean, the guy's like strong as an ox. I mean, he's got scars, but like, I mean, he's got, he's got his lady, he's got his life. And, so, right now and I have friends that have lost their kids. So I'm just lucky that, we went through the graphs and you have people at school every day. I mean, he had not one day, not one break where it wasn't some kid, what happened or whatever, this and some shit like that. But he's still, to me, he's still a good, and he wasn't affected. I mean, it was amazing that he handled that. So he told me he wouldn't change it. I said, would you, he wouldn't change his scars. So it's,
wow. You raised a good boy there.
That's coming from a good mother right there. That's coming from a very good mom.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart.
Staci is like, we should do a MacGyver so she can fix everything. I mean, she in-house everything, a one-stop shop. She's educating, get the psych, the mental, the physical, everything. I mean, it's like you name it, she's got it all for those kids.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, this episode is sort of like Final Destination Bloodlines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that on Tuesday.
I'm going this weekend. It's my girl's birthday on Sunday, so we're gonna go see that one.
Oh, you got a tour? What? That's like what's that like? She's like Malcolm X birthday some around the time. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, hers. Oh, is it around this time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, her birthday. Yeah, she's I can't say her age, but
yeah. Now don't do that. Don't do that.
No, you know how that goes. Oh shit. Yeah. I said it once.
You shouldn't have said it about the L, but she might see that, but that's all right.
Yeah. I said it once to a friend. I'm still in the doghouse, and that was like 5 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Shit. Oof.
I don't mind telling people my age.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm 51 years old. I turned 51 in April, and you know what? I'm dang proud of it. So
I heard that.
I'm just glad I made it this far.
Exactly.
I heard that.
Like I said, I'm 44, so I mean she's got me by years. So she's got me by so there.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You messed up. You done messed up now.
Hey Phil, you better edit that, man.
She don't watch
please, sir.
She ain't watching this.
We'll blur those fingers.
She ain't watching this.
She is bougie as hell too. Man.
Oh my gosh. So Paul, what about you?
Final Destination, I actually have a lot of stories, but I'm going to break it down real quick.
Okay.
Over at Tower Books in Sacramento, I was parking my car. I went inside, did some research, went back in my car, and accidentally hit the car next to me with my car door. And the guy came out angry as all hell. And I said, hey, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to, hit your car like that. He pulls out a gun and was ready to shoot me. I go, oh my God. I go, what the fuck? And I put the car in reverse. I zipped out of there. And as I was driving down the road, every single car, I was thinking it was him. And he was driving a black car. So every black car, I thought it was him. And I was so scared because I really thought he was going to shoot me. That was the first story.
First story.
Yeah.
There's some psycho freaking people out there. I'm telling you. Golly. Just because you see his car.
They'll put on you a stop fine.
Yeah. And then when I was living in Lake Tahoe, I saw this rabbit. It was snowing, a rabbit crossing the street, and I avoid hitting it because I love animals. And I rolled down the hill, and as I was rolling down the hill, my head's hitting the car thing, and everything was like in slow motion. And I just walked out of the car like nothing happened. The police came and they said, "Dude, you should have been dead." And they said, "You should have hit the damn rabbit." And I go, "Oh." So that was another one. Then in Arizona, when I was at Fort Huachuca, Arizona, there was this soldier. Well, there was a lot of soldiers, and we broke up into two teams. We went out into the field. We had bottle rockets, and we had a war with the bottle rockets. We were shooting at each other with bottle rockets, and one zipped past my ear, and I said, "All right, everybody, we got to stop, because one of these bottle rockets is going to fucking kill us." So, and then when I was in high school, I went to my brother's. He had a swim party, and at his pool, I was going down for the third count. I'm not that great of a swimmer. And my dad jumps into the pool, and he had a toupee on, and his toupee's floating fucking. And people are like looking and go, "What the fuck? What did Paul jump in there with his suit on? And what the hell is that thing floating in the water?" And anyway, he saved my life and was in the pool.
My God. Wow.
And the last one was at the Sacramento River, and I had my family there, and they were playing what is that called?
Volleyball?
Yeah, volleyball. So here I am. I'm on little plastic raft, and I'm in the water, and I fall asleep. And the thing, a speedboat goes by, flips over the raft, and I'm sinking into the river. I hit all the way bottom. And I go, and I'm telling you, I'm not a good swimmer. And I swear to God on the Holy Bible, but I felt two hands on my chest. And they pulled me up into the beach. I was trying to yell to my family, "I'm fucking drowning." And they're all there and hitting the ball. They didn't notice me. They didn't notice me. Like, I go, the hands I found, to this day, I think I was saved by an angel.
Yeah.
Somebody
was watching out for you.
Yeah.
All you guys.
And I looked at them, I said, "I almost fucking drowned." And they were all laughing. They thought I was joking.
Yeah.
And those are my final destinations.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, well, I've got I've got tons of those, but I've got one that just sticks with me it made me very, very cautious about driving. I was going from, it was probably about 45-minute drive. So I went from my home to my college when I first started college. And, there's a highway that you go down, and I was in a little Geo Metro. Now, I don't know if you know how small those are, but they're pretty small, and it was a convertible. So I was in a little convertible Geo Metro, and beside me was a semi truck. So I was driving. We were driving down the road, and all out of the corner of my eye, I saw a deer. And it was I was just kind of coming up to the front of the semi, but I saw a deer out there, and I was thinking, "Oh Lord, please don't let this thing cross the road." Well, it started trying to cross the road, and I was timed just enough. The semi truck hit it. It flung in front of my eyes, in front of my windshield, doing a spin, head this way, and then landed on the other side of me. And if I had been going just a little bit faster, that thing would have went right through the windshield. And so nowadays, right, I was like, "Oh my God." I was shaking by the time I got to school. I'm just like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." I was, and I was in my 20s at the time, so I hadn't been I'd been driving since I was 16, but still, you don't think about stuff like that. And I was thinking, I could have freaking died. That thing could have just went straight through it. And so that's the one that kind of keeps me cautious when I'm driving on the road, because we have a lot of deer around here, especially now. And then at night and when it's foggy, early mornings and things like that. So yeah, it was pretty scary.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, you're right here in Elk Grove last night. Yeah, was it last night? Yeah, last night, this guy, fast and furious in his mind, driving this little sports car, zooming down Elk Grove Boulevard, hits two trees, set them on fire, and he's deader than shit. And he's 24 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And then this morning on Bradshaw, that little Bradshaw, that little turnaround thing, someone was zipping by and smashed into a car. Another young boy dead.
I went through that yesterday. I was just there yesterday.
Yeah.
Bradshaw on Sheldon, right?
Yeah.
A little turnabout.
Yeah, that
that little turnabout. Yeah.
They got a couple of them, but I know what
in high school I had two buddies of mine. We were all partying. They drove home drunk, and they crashed just right around the corner from us, Paul, like right on Bighorn and the next street up. It was years ago. They crashed and they both died. Yeah.
Justin, tell them where we live at in the park behind us.
Oh, that woman
was an old lady walking through Mervyn F. Rose Park. Just beautiful day. She's walking. A guy thinks, well, I'm gonna take a little shortcut. Goes through the park, smash, kills her dead.
She was just walking. Yeah. I remember that.
Oh my gosh.
We get a lot of people like where we live. There's the road behind us. We get a lot of speedsters at night. You can hear them at night, and it's because it's a nice long curvy road, and we get a lot. You hear a lot of the cars, and that woman was just taking a walk. She was an elder woman, and they still have flowers up there. It been 2 years, a year, 2 years now.
Yeah, and
they dragged her through that park too.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to get away from something because that car was hauling ass.
Justin.
Oh, yeah.
Justin, this is something you don't know. But before you moved over here, there was this guy who stole a vehicle, and he was with his partner, and he ran through my backyard.
Oh shit!
Climbed over the fence, went into these other people's backyard by the park.
Yeah.
Went over the fence. The police confronted him. He threw a ceramic pot at him, and they shot him dead.
Oh, wow.
Right behind my house. And at 3:00 in the morning, my dogs are going crazy. I look in my patio, and I have police in my backyard. Yeah.
And that's on. I'm looking at your back. Look, I'm looking right here. I'm looking right there. I'm looking at your backyard right now.
Yeah. And I have police in my backyard.
10 feet away.
Yeah, a woman.
I was thinking, what the heck did I do?
Yeah, I have three. Yeah, I have 4 policemen, 1 woman, and 3 men. And at the time, I was butt naked. And I'm holy shit. And the police officer goes, sir, we're looking for somebody. Go ahead and put a towel on.
Yeah.
Whoops, I dropped the towel again.
Don't be a wank, sir.
Yeah. They say, excuse me, sir, go get a little hand towel to cover up. No, we live in this neighborhood is it's pretty rambunctious. Well, I mean, we're pretty close. We're pretty close to South Sac. So
I've been at Paul's house before, so I know, about how it's all laid out and everything. But we'd actually stayed over there before we went to Preston Castle. It was Preston Castle. Yeah, it was Preston Castle that one. Yeah. Best refried beans I ever had in my life. That woman, I'll tell you what.
I think my dad used to work there. It was open. Is that the one that's out in Ione, Preston?
Yeah, it's by Ione.
Yeah, it's like Mule Creek area. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My dad used to work there. for a little bit.
That's oh
He was in the youth
wow.
authority. So
Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was a boys'
Yep.
place. So
he's 76, my dad. So it was a long time ago. Yeah.
Okay, about
yeah.
that age, my dad's 78.
Yeah, he's my dad. Yeah, 77 in January. So still
My
thinks.
dad's 79, January 5th.
Okay, yeah. I'm January also. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's why you. Yeah, that's why you are.
Hey, I pulled up to this one speedster who was zipping down the road, and we got to a stoplight, and I rolled down my window and I said, "How can you sleep at night?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
No
you
kidding.
gotta. Yeah. I'm sorry. What you say, Stacey?
Oh, nothing. I was like, that's no kidding. I mean, especially with that many wrecks and stuff like that, you'd think that kind of word would get around that don't act fool around there because you're gonna end up killing somebody.
Yeah.
And just on Bighorn Boulevard, Justin, you see that one tree? That guy hit the tree and he's dead. Young kid, Fast and Furious. They got flowers on the tree and everything else.
That was what you said. When last night?
No, that was on Bighorn Boulevard.
Oh,
that happened about a month ago.
Oh, see, I didn't even know about that. Oh, that tree
worked on the first Fast and the Furious.
Oh, I remember the tree. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody. There was any fatalities from that though. I remember that. Yeah. I remember seeing it in the next morning, the aftermath. And I was like, oh, they fucked up that tree. But I didn't know there was a fatality.
Oh yeah, there's a fatality. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going out to work and I looked to the right and I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Look what happened. Yeah, you going to work? It's all hell broke loose. Wake up.
When I see the cop cars, I do a U-turn, so I don't really try to investigate. So.
Oh no, they stopped you.
No, well, they got back. There might have been before, like I said, the Arte. There might be a lot of smoke coming out of my car when I'm driving. So
Hey, listen, I always got one of them. Like they strangers. Listen, I'm getting away. Hey, Phil. Phil, man. How does what they're talking about South Sac and the way the car traffic and stuff is? How does that compare to Florida?
Yeah, it depends on the area of Florida.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say about where I'm at, it's really hardly any. I'm in a very quiet little neighborhood. On the other side of the bridge, it's a little different. But what I was going to say about what Paul and Justin are talking about is I did live in North Sacramento for 7 years, right off of Del Paso Boulevard, which is kind of pretty similar to South Sac in the way things are. And one thing I did notice is I never ever got pulled over while speeding through North Sacramento, and that's because the police are just too busy. The police have other more important things to do in those neighborhoods than to mess around with speeders. Unless you're playing Grand Theft Auto or something, they've got their hands full.
Did over by Norwood and Lampasas, I was staying over there when I first moved. I didn't know anything about Norwood. I'd be at the park. Hey man, where you from? Man, they couldn't talk to me, but it was like, you know what I mean. You know what Norwood is, and I don't know what park it is. But then my son bought like a little fixer up off of Lampasas, this little alleyway. But it's that gas station's right over there. All that traffic. I mean, everybody's coming through there. I mean, there used to be a spot where they used to sell dope right there on the corner. And from what I understand, it was a big spot. But my son bought a place. He didn't know. He didn't grow up there.
But, no, there's the Heights. There's a lot of methadone clinics off of Norwood also.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was crazy over there.
So I used to do Lyft. Well, and I used to see a couple girls up in the Heights, so like I said, I got a type, so
Oh yeah, you gonna see them over there, huh?
I like the cheap wigs and the track showing, so
They used to call DPH, the deepest part of hell.
Deepest part. I got pulled over. I got pulled over one time in the Heights by a motorcycle cop, and he came up to the white cop and he said, "Hey," he goes, "where, do you know where you're at, sir?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm on, Vine Street or whatever." And he's like, "No, like the city." I go, "Yeah, I'm Del Paso Heights." And he said, "Okay, I'm just making sure you're aware of where you're at." And I asked him, I said, "Because I'm white?" He said, "Exactly." He said, "Not a white neighborhood. I'm just wanting to make sure." I was like, "Well, have a good day. If they pull me over for anything wrong, then have a good day." So
there were
like
there were a
Kansas
few
City
of
and
us.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
there were a few of us in there. But what I noticed is on the internet you can actually look up. There's I think a website called Gang Maps,
Yeah.
and it will tell you which gang your street belongs to.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so my street, I was on belonged to the Norteños.
Yeah. So you got the Bloods. Yeah.
Okay.
It was good to know. Bloods were across the street on the other
Okay.
side.
Yeah. Yeah. You're in red. Yeah. Say the Paso Heights is red territory.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
was,
Speaking of gangs, okay, so I came back from California back in 2014, and around where we're at in Southwest Missouri, there was just a lot of wannabe gangbangers. We don't have Crips, we don't have Bloods, we don't have anything like that. Now,
Yeah.
I found out from a friend of mine that I was talking to that I laughed so hard that our hardest gang that we have here well, except for the Outlaws, which, I was friends with them, so I didn't have to worry about that. But they were called the Honkies.
That's funny.
Like,
That's funny. Good old Missouri. Yeah. That's good old Missouri. That
oh my God, it was horrible. Oh,
Yeah,
dead serious, dead
I ain't
serious.
mad at that.
that's funny. That's
You
funny.
know, and talking about gangs, I actually have two
Good.
cousins. I have two cousins down in San Jose that belong to the Hells Angels.
Uh,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
Big Jake and Fedicino Villalobos Jr.
okay.
My goodness.
Yeah, and I was shocked. And Big Jake used to be with the San Jose Gypsy Jokers, and then he's been recruited to the Hells Angels.
Hells Angels.
Yeah. Yeah.
He put in his work then to get that patch. Yep.
And
I wouldn't mess with them. Yeah.
They're big out here. They're big out here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Hey, well, you know what? They sometimes, people always think about like how ruthless are the things that they could do, or the power, but also, some of them, if they want to be cool with you, they can. I could tell you this: when I first moved up, I was up like in Polly Pines, and they got like this thing called Fort Bay Lake, and you go to the bottom of Fort Bay Lake, like the trail. It's houses. I mean, it's a lake. It's a road that goes around the lake all the way to the bottom, and then you go so far, people will get out and shoot. I mean, there's blasts and there's targets, and you can get out and shoot. Nobody's gonna say anything. It's like Mormon Immigrant Trail, like up there where I stay. So you get down. I went all the way to the bottom, and this is when I first moved there. I didn't really know the area. I just knew the lake was nice. See a lake. I mean, if you grew up in the concrete jungle, you grew up near the projects, you see a lake. You're like, oh, this is nice, So you going down by the lake, and I get to the bottom. Me and my son, we got out, and I said, hey, you see those shells? I said, this actually is nice. It's not as nice as it looks. I said, you would have to be careful here. I said, somebody right there. I said, that shell was let off and nobody even cares. So he was like, oh,
Wow.
we're thinking about it. But then a dog came just then. This dog came in. It was like, and he heard somebody say, hey, come back. And he came up to my son. He started licking my son. And they was like having like a moment. And the guy came around the corner, and it was all the guy, maybe about, at that time, he was maybe about like 60, but he was good shape. He was in good shape. Had a vest on, some jeans, like a chain. He came around. He said his dog. He said, hey, and he looked, and he only saw me. Now my son is mixed, but he's Italian. He's Italian, but he looks Italian. So he looked, and he said, hey, and he looked around, so he didn't see me. So the dog, he says, hey man, he likes you, man. So he was looking at, he tripped at us for some reason. He thought that was a big thing. So then he said, hey, are you with somebody? And he looked, and I came around the corner. He said, oh, he says your dad. Like, I say, how you doing? So we started talking, and it turned out he was a boss. And I'm not gonna even say the affiliation.
Oh, wow.
He was the boss, because when we were talking, some young dudes, some like all tattered, they came around. They was and he said, hey, Copper Squad, and they got quiet just like that, right? He said, you know, talking. So we kept talking. He said, man, it would be a trip. It was this lodge. They got this way up there in the mountains. She said, man, it would be a trip if you came up there. He said, I bet your bros, if they see me with you, if I came with you, they would trip out if they saw me hanging with you. We just talking. But it turned out that his son, his son, the mother had remarried a black man, and they had a kid. So he said the things that he had to, adjustments he made, that whole situation, he broke that down to me, but nobody would have known that. A lot of people that knew him probably didn't even know that. But yeah, he was, deep in there. I didn't even know. Well, he said, "Hey man, just to let you know where you are." He said, "If next time you got a problem, things." So we always after that we talk. Now it's snipers up there. It's all kind of crazy people up there. So,
Wow.
but yeah, he gave me a pass.
Yeah.
Just because his dog liked to get.
just because the dog like my son. We start talking.
Mhm.
Hey, I gotta tell Phyllis. Oh, we're
Eric, make it quick, Paul, because we're at about the 2-minute mark.
okay.
Wrap it
Yeah,
up.
real quick. I went to
I'll bust it up.
Walmart and I saw this one biker, and on his jacket it said "Heavy Hitters," and Phil and Zandine would know what I'm talking about. Heavy Hitters. And no lie.
All right, well, now I'm going to have to look that up because you're just going to leave us on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You and Justin are heavy hitters to us, so
You are.
it means we bumped the episodes up. You guys don't have to wait. We put the episodes on because we like the episodes.
Okay.
Heavy hitters for us.
Good.
Give us some serial killer knowledge. In 30 and 50 seconds, give us some serial killer knowledge, Stacy. And Justin, what's up with the new buds, man?
Oh my
You got some?
gosh,
Yeah.
I can't give you that serial killer knowledge. They're bad, okay?
They're bad. Hey, Justin, I'm really glad you're okay, brother. Thank you for being on here.
No,
tonight.
for real.
Yeah.
For real.
Oh no, the serial killer knowledge that I got, there are less than 50 serial killers that are active right now today
Wow.
in the
Thank
United
God.
States.
Thank God.
Yes.
That we know of.
Hey, did everybody hear about P. Diddy might be getting out?
Ooh.
What?
Did
I
you
thought he
go
was doing
back
like-
for him, Paul?
They're talking about dropping. They're talking about dropping charges.
Justin, will you ever work with Ted's buds? I'll go back to Diddy.
With who?
Would you ever work with Ted's buds?
Who's Tez Buzz? No, I don't.
And I said, would you ever work with them?
Oh, yeah, sure. Why not? I'll work with anybody.
Okay, I heard that, man. I think you
Who
would.
the fuck's that?
And that they're taking over. They're not as